that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.
Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Of course, this is one of our Bravo Peacock own extras, and it is because the block is hot. The block is hot. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. All right, I am on live on YouTube, and I am so glad to see everyone that has come in the chat. Thank you so much, American Born. American Born. Don't stay away from me. American born. Come in and take your seat. So good afternoon to you as well. Good afternoon, Sandra P's Gen Extra, mods and chat. Welcome, American born. You know, you are one of the inspirations because we have so much that goes on. I call it the show after the show or the show beyond the show. And we start talking about the stuff in the chat while we're doing the reviews. So AB was in the DMs like, we kind of need extra on it. And we started doing extras and people watch the extras. So thank you to those that watch the extras, that come over here for the reviews, and then you're here for the extra, or you just watch all of it, or you're just here for support and you don't even watch these shows. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in. I hope everyone has had a great day. And let me speak to everyone else that came in here. So thank you, American Born. I just wanted to give you your credit for that. Mama Bees, the first sister moderator in the building. Hello, Mama Bees. Hey, Sandra P, chat, mods. Thank you so much for joining Mama Bees. It really helps to have moderator during the live. And I'm prepared for future subscribers because we don't have any problems yet. But that comes with numbers, it comes, but maybe it won't because we attract a certain type of subscriber. We're here for fun. We're not here to hurt anybody. We do our little jokes. We laugh, we smile. And if somebody takes offense, they get in there and they defend their person. And then I say what I want to say about the person, and it's still fun. So I hope it stays that way. And thank you to any new subscriber in here. If you're just thinking about it, if you come in, just use the like button like a doorbell. And I appreciate that. That really helps. Ophelia Burkhalter, it is great to see you live in chat. Thank you so much for supporting, watching the reviews, engaging in the chat. I appreciate it. As always, thank you, Ophelia. Everyone is speaking to Ophelia. She came in speaking to myself and everyone, as she always does. And American Born, part of the official welcoming committee, along with Ophelia, along with Mama Bees, is speaking to everyone. Deborah Randall, this is my good friend, loyal subscriber. I'm so glad to see you in the chat. Let me know that sometimes the notifications don't come through. So thank you, Deborah Randall. That will let me give a reminder. If you're subscribed, make sure the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of the content. You get the notifications. And I've been better about scheduling them as far in advance as I can. So more than an hour, but this live, I think I scheduled sometime last night. So YouTube had plenty of time, StreamYard as well, to notify everybody. But I thank those of you that are here already. I appreciate it. Everyone's speaking to each other. Thank you. And I'll just let the comments flash through. And then as people come in and say hello, I'll greet them and we'll all greet everybody as we usually do because we like to be polite. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to start with something that I teased because I thought I had it at the ready. I did not, but I have it now, and it was playing. It is our friend Labrina. Labrina is one of those ones. She was kind of hands-off. She's Heart and Hustle Houston, so she's one of the own shows, and she was a little bit hands-off, and our girl Ro was the one mainly active out in the social media streets. Now, other people are trying to get involved. Chloe said, when the show's over, the show is over. I seen Chloe out there. I had the nerve to answer me. Chloe, I asked you a question. It was kind of a rhetorical question. Who said that? And you said, she did. So Labrina is going to answer you back as well. All right, I'm going to start this. And it's kind of funny. I'll let it play more than once. It's on Instagram. And there's a part where music plays. I'll have to mute it because it's Mariah Carey. MC is a songwriter. She doesn't play about her catalog. I don't blame her. That's where her money came from. Yeah, I'll show that. I hope I still have it handy. I found that kind of funny. You know, we do a lot of talking and don't think that the people are watching. They are, okay? They are. A lot of them in the bushes, but we know that they're there. So let me show. Here's Chloe. Well, this might be Labrina, but it's Chloe speaking. So we'll start. And then when the music comes, I'll stop it. This is Labrina's page. I'm going to let it get to 1. So we'll see Chloe and Ro. And y'all, I watched the episode and didn't realize that this is what happened. That's Labrina and Will. Everybody fine in that marriage.
Labrina. Ooh, it's Labrina. No, what Labrina has. According to Labrina.
Why you so obsessed with me?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play one more time just so you get the idea of what's going on here.
Labrina.
Why you so obsessed with me?
Labrina. Ooh, it's Labrina. No, what Labrina has. According to Labrina.
Why you so obsessed with me?
So Labrina answered him back. She wanted to know why you're so obsessed with her. I didn't realize that her name was in their mouth like that. So Labrina answering the ladies back. Let's look at a few of the comments. I don't blame her. You see, she threw that leg up over Willie, letting them know who's saying we over here, we're not getting busy. It's not true. Chloe said she did. Munira Page said, you have a beautiful name, sis. Munira, that's real cute, but it's not why they're saying it all the time. Here's Ro. Marsha. That is what that sounds like. Labrina. She says, Dr. Ashley LaRue, scoop me up off the floor, please. Labrina, you didn't know they were talking about you like that? Dr. Ashley, as we know, we found out Dr. Ashley is a therapist and has her doctorate. This is Will. Hopefully I can get some intimacy. I'm struggling. Will, we didn't believe it. Okay, we didn't believe it at all. He's laughing. Y'all, the way she threw that leg up over him, I don't believe it. We're going to show it one more time.
Labrina. Ooh, it's Labrina. No, what Labrina has. According to Labrina.
Why you so
I don't know. What is Chloe obsessed? I don't know. She said, Labrina asked, Sharon Garbo, welcome in. It is great to see you in a live. Hey, Sharon, everybody greet Sharon and welcome Sharon in. Thank you. We are doing an extras. This is the very first topic. It is our heart and hustle, ladies. So they got a little back and forth going on social media. I find that really funny. AB says, well, she shut Chloe down with that, in my opinion. Mine too, because there was a lot of conversation being had about her. AB says, hey to Sharon Gobble, and Sharon is speaking back to everyone. And then I'll find some of the other responses that Labrina had. Cece, welcome in. Cece is another one of the sister moderators. She has come in to the live. This is Cece, as you know, this is one of our extras. So I started out, you're still on the first topic, so you didn't miss anything. This is Heart and Hustle Houston. Labrina's finally answering these people back. And they said her name no less than 12 times. That's the amount they caught. So Cece came in and spoke to myself and everybody. So welcome in, Cece. Thank you for joining us during this live. And as always, I appreciate you being a moderator. I said at the beginning, I'm preparing for growth. So even though everybody's pretty chill and relaxed and cool, as we go over other topics and attract newer people, more people that are unfamiliar with the way that we do, we're laughing. This is fun. I don't know any of these people. That's full disclosure. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to laugh. I want us to laugh. Even serious topics, we'll be serious with the topic, but I'll give my opinion. Nothing that I'm saying is fact unless I know for a fact, and I don't know for a fact. So I'm just giving an opinion, just to reiterate that. And Mama B's, AB, Sharon Gobble, everyone is speaking to each other, crosstalk, greeting each other in the chat, and I appreciate it. Yes, you never know when the trolls will show up. Yeah, American Born, it's just better to be safe, rather be safe than sorry. And since Cece just came in, I told her she didn't miss anything. Let me just make sure she doesn't. So one more time, and then I'll show what Labrina had to say again. This is Labrina's Instagram.
Labrina. Ooh, it's Labrina. No, what Labrina has. According to Labrina.
why you so obsessed with me?
That's MC. Why you so obsessed with me? And that is Labrina throwing her big tatted thigh over her fine husband, Will, just in case anybody was concerned about this so-called lack of intimacy. She said it ain't true. All right, so let me see. Labrina had a few more IG posts that she put up in relation to that I found pretty funny. And you hear where they played with her name, Latoria. And during the review, I called Latoria out at the time. The Labrina thing, I don't love it. I don't love it. And don't be shocked that Labrina has an answer to that. So again, Labrina is now playing around with her Instagram as well, because we know that editing and the show, there is a show after the show. And I like to see the ladies take part and get their fun in, answer something, and just, pop your collar a little bit. So I like it, Labrina. Let me show you what she said. Okay, here we go. She already has shirts made, everybody. This says Labrina. So she already has merchandise, and I'll just show you a few of the comments and what they think of it. I don't know. Is a man going to wear that shirt? She has a man modeling it. Let's see what the comments are saying. I don't want to cover him up. Let me move this a little bit. All right, here we go. So happy Monday, y'all. This was yesterday. We got those Labrina shirts for accountability. Cream and pink to start. It's long sleeves, short sleeves, you name it. So Millie Chun is right under there laughing. What's the website? Well, she didn't laugh. She just said, what's the website? Okay, so Millie Chun going to get one. Millie Chun going to wear that on her channel. Labrina said, I will send it. Labrina, you're supposed to actually send Millie Chun a shirt. Okay. Somebody said, I like how you play. Yeah, this is out of the Candy book, out of the Melody Cherie book. Make you a little bit of money when they start talking about you. We saw that Chloe said the lady's name no less than 12 times. So we're on her page. Let me look at a few more things from there. This is their beautiful wedding.
We'll be loving you till we're 70.
I love that song. They had a beautiful wedding. Journey to Jackson. This is old. This is their wedding, but that is gorgeous. Labrina and Will, I don't know why they're talking crazy about y'all that you don't have intimacy. And that would be something that you wouldn't try to make fun of. This is something else that she just posted. I saw this today. This was pretty funny. This is answering the people, too, that have concerns. She said, y'all hear the birdies chirping? Oh, nothing. Just minding my biz, seeding my grass. There was the first one under there laughing. You play too much. I said, everyone getting into the show after the show. Yeah, I love this. I'm glad that she's answering now. Somebody said, I cannot believe people are forgetting the whole first season. Labrina was literally the voice of reason. She stayed out of all the drama, was the one everyone could trust to vent to and get advice from, and showed up to every event, face card on 1,000, and as humble as can be. I'm so confused by all the hate this season. I don't know that it's hate. She knows best, has her own opinion. Here's mine. When I saw Labrina meet with Josh, and I still need more information on that. Labrina, what were you thinking? Labrina, why did that happen? And we haven't seen Elena anymore. I need to know what is behind that. Why does Josh have a platform that Labrina offered him to get what I feel like may or may not be the true story, but certainly not the full story? I don't like it. So everyone's speaking back to each other in the chat. AB says if Labrina has showed up more, maybe she wouldn't blame the edit. I think she got a little nervous to be around. Remember at the end of last season, they had the therapy session with Miss Sylvia, and then that blew up. I think she said F you, F you, F you, and F you. And then they didn't speak at all off season. It was really awkward when they started back for second season. And Ro was able to put together where everybody met with Miss Sylvia again. But she even had to scold them during the whole thing. After the whole thing happened with Precious and everything with Miss Sylvia. They were talking over Miss Sylvia. That was Labrina and Latoria. And then we're hearing that there's behind the scenes stuff with Chloe. We don't know details yet. But Labrina at least is on IG trying to put a little opinion of her own, a little spin on it. AB says it was definitely the Josh sit down that caused the hate. I think so. That, to me, and still, that is the most alarming thing that I've seen. I can't believe that Labrina did that, and I just want to know more about why. I would love to hear more about why she did it. And hopefully that'll be something they talk about if they get a reunion. Now, we don't know if they'll have a reunion yet. Hopefully they will. We'll see. And let me see if there's anything else. Heart and Hustle Houston. Okay, so that I promised to show yesterday and didn't have access to it. That was it, where her name was said no less than 12 times and might have been more than that. So I don't blame her for addressing that. And that was a cute post. Why are you so obsessed with me? That's cute. All right, let's see what else we have. All right, this is from Bravo Talk Too Much. This is a preview of, I won't show that yet because that is actually showing something from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we're not on them yet. I think we'll end with them. That'll probably be the best thing to do, is to end with them. So that's the end of that. That was our little own Heart and Hustle Houston, something to keep up with them before the episode comes on again Saturday night. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to go back to my beginning. And this is just other shows. We have, I'm going to show all the different, probably from every show that we have. Next Gen NYC, I think these reviews will be done together. That's probably be the easiest thing, because these kids, I'm not going to let them bore me to death now. I fell asleep on them a couple of times. So I'm going to show you who this is. This is our internet niece, Riley. Let me see what. All right, Riley plays a lot of music. We know Riley actually likes to travel, and I think they called it the Riley World Tour. So there she is with her friends. Let me see if the comments might say. So that's Riley from Next Gen NYC. There's her mom, Candy Burris, in the post, and also from Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's where we first met Riley as a 6-year-old and Adriana as a 6 or 7-year-old. Somebody says, it's good to see you, happy, enjoying yourself with friends. Keep being intentional about creating your own happiness. Somebody said, live your life, Riley. I love this for you. Youthful, joyful, Black, and positive, and traveling. Oh, yes, more of this for our kids. Yes, I love that. I love that for her. Love that life, sister. So I'm glad that Riley is just going around dancing, having a great time with friends. That's perfect. I love that. I'm glad we have Riley on Next Gen, because we know her first season was so rough. There were people going, get her out of there. She shouldn't be the only one. It is tough to be the only one, but Riley was able to handle it. I didn't like to see her crying. I didn't like those microaggressions from old Pope Charlie, but she has as much right to be there as any of those other children, young people, young adults, and more rights than some. So I will never say, no, don't put one person on there, because now, will I want to be the only one? I have been, and sometimes it's hard, but I'm glad that she stuck it out and she's still here. I love it. So I'll go through the comments, and then we will go through the next topics from some of the other shows. Okay, thank you, CC, for giving an update. 6 likes, 9 in the live. Please like, comment, subscribe. The activity helps the channel gain traction in YouTube's algorithm. I can attest that that is true. We have a few new subscribers. Welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you to the existing loyal subscribers, and I appreciate it so much. One of my fellow content creators, Kiwan JTV, came in. Hello. Hey, everyone. I'm listening while I'm leaving work, walking to my car. Well, be safe, Kiwan JTV, so that I will try not to have silent moments, but I'll be sharing video clips and everything. And what I'm doing, of course, is the extras from all the different shows. We had Heart and Hustle Houston, the clip I couldn't find before I started with, where they were saying Labrina's name no less than 12 times. Labrina, 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 Labrina. And Labrina actually ended up playing Why You So Obsessed With Me, threw her leg over her husband, Willie, and then she is selling Labrina merchandise, which right now is a short sleeve and a long sleeve shirt. So that's the only thing you missed, Kiwan J. AB is speaking to Kiwan J, as well as Mama Bees. And American Born says, I love that for Riley. She's so beautiful. American Born, I'm so proud of her. It is a trip watching these kids come on our screen as children and then grow up right in front of our eyes. I love it. CC, Mama Bees, American Born, everybody's welcoming and speaking to Kiwan JTV. I think I saw her boyfriend as well in the back. Yes, if it was a young man with locks, he just graduated from college, I think last year too. I saw him. I think she shared his graduation pics because I don't follow him. Is that Barcelona or somewhere in Italy? I'm going to try to see if I can tell where that is. It looks like Barcelona. I don't know what that building is right there. Let me see. I thought somebody in the chat would actually say what it was. She didn't. So Riley's, a Riley Martha's Vineyard. That's an idea. But does Riley go to Martha's Vineyard? Somebody called her rich, black, beautiful A. That's cute. No, I don't see. Little shy Riley went out of town to school and came out of her shell. Have fun and be extremely safe. I do love that about Riley. And I don't know how shy she was. I just know she was different. That looks like Barcelona. I've been to Barcelona twice. That looks like one of some of their architecture. But Cece, I honestly don't know, so I won't guess. If I can find it while we're on here, I'll say. But it's definitely Europe from her Riley World Tour. We know Riley likes to get gone. And Kiwan J spoke back to everyone. Okay, so there was Riley. We shared that. And let's see what else. We will start. Again, I'm going to save Real Housewives of Atlanta till last. Now, we had Dr. Wendy and Eddie, Real Housewives of Potomac. I didn't know that I would review it, but I will. The ones I had ruled out, RHOC, which is Orange County, the maggots over there on the West Coast. This is their 20th season. I'm going to give them a cute 30 minutes. I am going to review them. And also Potomac. So let me show you Dr. Wendy and Eddie. And we haven't had much news about what they're going through, but here it is. Here they are. They're outside. They're repping the New York Knicks jerseys, but they're there for Jay-Z. They're at Yankee Stadium for a date night. So I love that for Dr. Wendy. Those tickets were expensive, Dr. Wendy. You have to submit a budget. I never knew Wendy was about this life. Love it. About what life? She's going to a concert. And someone said, such a girl, so nice. Nice running into you. Oh, she met someone and she was nice to them. That's nice. So I know it's for Hov, but please put that thing down. Put what thing down? Wendy, let me find out you're really a Delta. Oh, is she making a Delta? She's not making a Delta sign. Wendy said she's an AKA. I saw you at the show and spoke to you. I was the one that said, Wendy, I love you. You were so sweet. Of course you're going to be sweet. Dr. Wendy. Dr. Wendy to you, sweetie. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. I always thought they were a handsome couple. You know, after they got in trouble, people started rumors that Wendy was trying to blame everything on him and that she probably was going to divorce him. I don't know. They still look like they're locked in, but of course, we never know what's going on with these reality TV shows. Jay-Z, 25, and then she's doing, that's not the Delta sign. That's the Dynasty sign. I used to go to Jay-Z shows because my sister was and still is, a big Hov fan. I am not spending any money on Jay-Z at this time and possibly for the foreseeable future, but I know that is not the Delta sign. We know they had guests there, Beyonce, Rihanna. He had good seats. He cut his hair after having those locks taken out. Yeah, Wendy. Wendy knows the words. Wendy, I know everybody's looking at that ring. Wendy, is that one of the rings that y'all reported? I don't know. Hopefully their case is going to come and just be dissolved of quickly and without any serious consequences. But we don't know. We don't know everybody. I'm glad to see Eddie, Happy Eddie, and Dr. Wendy still together and enjoying themselves on a date night in New York. I love that. So that is really cute. That's nice. All right. Let me take that down and then we will go to our next topic for the extra. And let me read the comments first. AB said they had good seats right at the front. I know it was expensive. Yes, those tickets were very pricey. Tacky was there. Who's Tacky? Kiwan J? Is that a nick? Oh, AB. Kiwan, is that a nickname for someone? Oh, bobblehead Darby. Did she go? She was at the wedding looking at a place. That was one of the rings they reported. AB's laughing. I don't know. I'm asking. Isn't it? It's a trip. You got to ask all this stuff. and everything's alleged. And in my opinion, let me run a banner because I'm sharing stuff and everything is covered by the Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107. And it's made for fair use, purposes of criticism, commentary, news reporting, educating. We're having fun, everybody. We're having fun. Wendy, I don't know if that's the ring or not. So American Born is laughing. Oh, Giselle is tacky. I wonder if they gave her tickets. I don't know if Jay-Z's giving out any tickets. Giselle seems to me to be a little bit thrifty with her money, and that's not a criticism, Giselle. I love it. I love that she's thrifty with her money. So that's pretty good. I think he wants saying about the fact that AB knew who she was talking about before I knew. Yeah, Giselle is known as tacky. I should have known. Okay, so let's just stick with RHOP. Let me see what else. All right. As we know, Stacey has been in the news. Let me share this one. Let me go down. And if I go down, will that make it bigger? Let me see. Yes. Okay. I think that's better. Stacey is married and they were filming the ceremony for the new season of RHOP. I'm so excited. This is from a site called CC Loves Ya. Also, I thought Monique was out. No, CC Loves You. I actually saw that Monique was back in before they even announced. She was out, announced, and then she was in. But I think she's still friend of, if I'm correct. There go Bobblehead. She's there. That's Rob Dixon. Rob Dixon. I can barely see that. I see, what is her name? The British one. Tia, Mia? I'm not sure. Dr. Wendy is there. And Monique is in the dark forest green. Timu. Do y'all think they were really separated and divorced? Mrs. Stacey Roush, Miss Stacey Roush. My happily ever after part 2. Love is everlasting. We renewed the vows we took in 2007, and our hearts are full. The past made us stronger. The future brings us so much joy. I know Arbella is thrilled. I love that for Stacey and for Arbella. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there's Stacey. So I guess they paid for her wedding since they shot it. Love it. Tia. Yeah, Tia's beautiful. I'm glad that they brought, well, with the exception of my Angel. I think I have something on Angel as well. I'm glad they brought, with the exception of Angel, she has her own HG type show on YouTube, and I think that's pretty good. There's a channel, like a HG channel. So I love that. So good for her. So let me see. I think it'll be a good, let me find the Angel post because we're still on RHOP. Even though she's not RHOP, I think it would be good. So that is one case, y'all, where the cloak of immunity did not work for her, but that's okay. It's not going to work for everybody. And I don't want to see anybody miserable. I think she was upset and just having a terrible time. And so I don't blame her. All right, let me see if I can find this. I had to turn off my camera for a minute and turn the air on in here. Okay, Angel Massey. Also, I had a really nice picture of her and Bobby. Let me see. She had a good post. I think she took it down. All right, one moment. I'm sorry, I'm still here. I don't mean to get caught up in the reading. I thought I had Angel saved. I might have to come back to that one because I'm not sure what happened with that. And you know what I'll do? I will start with, let me go to, I'm going to take Stacey down and then go back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then I hope, no, here's one of the Angels. All right, this is good. No, that's Wendy and Eddie again. Sorry, everybody. I don't know what this is. Let me share it while it's pulling up. Sorry about that. I had my labeling incorrect. If you're in the bushes listening, I apologize. I'm working on IG. We just looked at that. That's Dr. Wendy and Eddie at Jay-Z's show. No. Okay, let me go back to what I do have, and then hopefully I'll find that. So this is it's kind of old news, but it's not finished yet. This is Anne-Marie. She was just one season. I wasn't thrilled with her. I didn't like her. I didn't like her attitude. I didn't like the way she showed up. She was on the last season before Giselle ended up leaving the show. So that's Anne-Marie Wiley. We know she is married to Marcellus Wiley, and he's a sports commentator, but he's formerly of the NFL. And the court documents are pretty triggering. She's saying that he is putting hands, feet, and not accepting no for an answer within their marriage. So some terrible things were happening with them. Oh, I think they're not going to share the court docs. Okay, that's okay. I don't need to see that. But that was Anne-Marie. That was Anne-Marie. Let me go back and read. Tia's the British lady. I love her. Yeah, Tia. She got on my nerves. She was a little bit dry, but I'm glad they invited her back. Angela and Charles Oakley were at the wedding. Yeah, they were. Angela is at a lot of events. I'm glad she's able to make friends. She might have a tough reunion. I'm interested to see what happens. Angela gets around like a cab now. She was at the concert as well. Yes, she was. What was the wedding filmed by RHOP Production? Yeah, I think so. I think it was. But I can't remember if it was Bravo that put the pictures up or not. Let me see. I think I have Angela and Charles at the Jay-Z concert as well. Let me show that. Yeah, I do. It was in the news. They said that there were people that actually, I don't know what they were thinking, but they were trying to rush the gates at the Jay-Z concert. So this is the video that I have for that. Let's see. I don't know if this was a news report or somebody was just filming it. Oh, yeah, this is the news part of it. This was the news part of it. You see security trying to push people back. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can read this. I'll turn the sound up in a second. Okay, here we go. Charles had the red shirt on. That's Angela behind him with the cap on. And then we're going to see like a tussle.
Breach of the Jays concert at Yankee Stadium, where hundreds of ticketless individuals rushed the gates and pushed. NYPD and stadium officials investigated a major security breach at the Jays concert at Yankee Stadium, where hundreds of ticketless individuals rushed the gates and pushed.
That's Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I'm glad nobody got hurt. To think you could get in there with no ticket, no way. Not happening. American Born. That man is a monster. I never liked Anne-Marie, but I feel bad for her and the kids. I do too. Hello, have a Kiki. Hey, y'all. Great to see you. We're doing extras. What you're looking at now is Angela and Charles Oakley. He's got on a red shirt. They went to the Jay-Z show at Yankee Stadium, and there was a delay in letting people in because it looked like some ticketless people tried to storm the gates. But it didn't look like they were pushing Charles at all. And everybody's speaking to Have a Kiki. She's saying hello. They had to remove those people who rushed in there and delayed the show. Yeah, that is crazy, though. Imagine you can't get anywhere without a ticket. That's crazy, especially how as those tickets were. And CC speaking to Have a Kiki. Beyond the gates, indeed. Beyond the gates. You know, Jay-Z probably stopped the show himself. Don't let everybody in if they don't have a ticket. You know, Jay-Z is not playing that at all. He must be paid. Now, he would never do something like a free show. I don't know. For his reputation, he might want to give back or do something. So the story with Anne-Marie, I'm with American Born. I feel sorry for her and what's going on. I think it's terrible. And he was smiling in that mugshot. I think that's signs of a psycho. What are you smiling at? And he's accusing her of like witchcraft and everything else. So that is a little bit crazy. I'm more inclined to believe her than him. And she was saying he was taking her money. All right, let's see. This is from the Reddit streets, and this is, I call Reddit Skid Row because we know they get crazy over there. I'm not gonna have a lot of comment. This is Rachel Zoe. I just want you to see what Rachel Zoe, what she posted. All right, this was on her Insta story. That's a real picture. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's not like AI or anything. Look at her. And from what I know about Rachel Zoe, when she was styling Nicole Richie, remember Nicole Richie had a regular, she was a young girl at the time. She's in her 20s. A regular body, soft and fluffy and cute. And then when she started being styled by Rachel Zoe was one of the ones that really pushed back in the day, Generation X, they called it heroin chic, which is kind of disgusting. There's a model called Kate Moss, and they love the fact that they have that look where they're so skinny and all of this. And that caused a lot of eating disorders, in my opinion. So for her to post that like it's something cute, I think it's a little bit terrible. But that's her Insta story. And let me see if I'll read a few comments. Somebody said, is anyone surprised this is the same woman who would give her already thin clients diet pills? I didn't know that. Anyone who has paid attention to her in the last 20 or so years, no, it's not a secret that she values being thin over being healthy. That is that person's opinion, but I can attest because I used to love to read magazines and all of that. And Rachel Zoe does have a reputation of that. Oh, somebody is testifying. I had Anna, let's say Anna's last name is Rexia, back then, and it almost took my life. It has made a massive comeback and is all over TikTok. That's the dangers of social media, everybody. That's why I was concerned with Amanda. Oh, long face. I think that she thinks that it's cute when she's told, oh, you're looking thin, oh, you're not eating. It's not a compliment, but we have to be careful how we handle that. This lady said, I think she has slipped again, likely due to her divorce. I have to be mindful to eat as the urge not to is always there. She's body checking here and there, and everybody's saying she's too thin. Gives her validation. In her mind, we're all jealous. I think that's dangerous. I don't want to see her on the screen if this is what we're going to get. I don't like it at all. Because a lot of young people watch the housewife shows as well. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's anything to tout. I don't think it's anything to aspire to. And I hope that she is taking care of herself as best she can. I know that divorce from Roger took a lot out of her, but I don't want to see that. Her sons seem to have level heads. They're really young, but I hope they can really talk to her and that she gets some therapy. But that picture was really disturbing just to look at it. Everyone is speaking to have a kiki back and forth conversation and welcoming in everyone. AB says that woman needs to eat. Yes, American Born. We just saw where one of the people commenting on the post was saying, once you've been there, the appetite is not there and they have to remind themselves to eat. And then their mind kind of needs to be rewired, where if you say, oh my God, they're so thin, that's a compliment to her. And she thinks if you criticize, you're jealous. Have a Kiki says, oh my God, these celebs need help. They do have a Kiki. I couldn't imagine eyes on me all the time and the criticism. Crazy. PK just came out today and said Doritas left the kids and the country. He wants to sell that house, American Born. That's crazy. You know, the one that did the interview, Paul Brunson, he's going to be on the new season of Married at First Sight. If you're back here, anyone that can, at 5:30, I'm doing the first live review for season 20. It's in Seattle. So they got new city, new experts, new couples. And I'm looking forward to this season. It looks pretty good. Havakiki says, yes, that's why these social media companies are being sued for pushing harmful content to minor children. Yes, because how did her post even get up there, Havakiki? And then you talk to Zuck and people like that, and they go, oh, I don't let my kids have a Kindle. I don't let my kids online. But you pushing it on our kids? I don't like it. AB says these celebs are like Brian from Real Housewives of Rhode Island, microdosing Ozempic. American Born, I didn't know that was a thing until he said it, and then I started seeing it on Reddit. And honestly, no matter how harmful it is, it's going to influence somebody to try it, which I think is crazy. The rumors say Amanda is pregnant by West. Ooh, Mama Bees, that is crazy. He's going to wreck both their lives. I saw that he took her home. AB's looking. I am too, AB. I saw he took her home. She took a picture near one of their, the property there. Somebody said they were at a wedding. So she went to, I guess he's from St. Louis. She went somewhere with him, home with him. I like the new format for Married at First Sight. I do too, American Born. It was really easy to follow, easy to watch. And then they introduced us to the men, the women, and then they all met together. And then we just had to sit through like a couple of weddings. It wasn't dragged out 3 hours like it used to be. I just watched Mass last night. I haven't watched it in a decade, but it's on Peacock. Yes, that's why I like it. I think the new streaming service, Kiki, is going to be really good for Married at First Sight. I hope it rejuvenates it. And then, like I said, the new experts. I like Paul Brunson. He did a pretty good interview with PK from Beverly Hills, so that's why I was thinking of him. I like him. And he seems like he is not playing with the couples. He's asking really good questions. He did something episode 1 with one of the guys, Adam, who I don't feel should have been cast. I'll give more thoughts on that. But Paul Brunson was not playing with him. And I hope that he keeps that up. They didn't bring Devon Franklin back. Devon, we didn't even get to see him that much. I think it was just like stunt casting because I don't even know how he can coach somebody in marriage. Cece says, replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you to Mama Bees, American Born says. Yes, I like Paul as well, Sandra. Yeah, I think he's doing a good job so far. That was just one episode. I just finished watching it and I liked it a lot. Okay, so let's see who else we have. Okay, we might get to, here is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. This is news on Teresa Giudice. So Teresa and Louis are going through. Does anybody know what Louis's actual profession is? I don't know what Louis does for a living or what income he has coming in, because Teresa is now in the news, and this is what it is. Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice and her husband, Louis Ruelas, are reportedly facing serious financial troubles as the $3.7 million Montville estate teeters on the brink of foreclosure. They've been in that place 20 years. Isn't that the same place her and Juicy Joe lived? The trouble stems from over $3 million in tax liens, $303,889 owed by Teresa, and nearly $2.6 million by Louis. Teresa, I know a way you can pay off $2.6 million in debt. Get rid of Louis, plus another $163,524 lien filed as recently as December of 2024. Court records also show Ruelas borrowed $1 million against the home last year, stoking fears they may lose the home entirely. I don't blame Gia for moving out. And then they actually show that massive estate. Somebody says she's truly too dumb to learn from her mistakes. And another person says, why do these people live outside their means? Like you should have learned from the first lesson. 2 people live in the house, ridiculous. I think Melania lives there too. Somebody brought up her being a maggot. They said, call her buddy Trump. He's lining his pockets. He can't help Teresa, or won't. That is a mess. So I know she needs them to desperately needs them to pick up the cameras. I think they're getting ready to. I'm going to watch. I'm interested in seeing what happens with them. Okay, so those were the other housewives that we had information on. Now let's go to Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we will pick up where we left off. Let me finish the comments first related to Teresa. American Born says, I pray Teresa gets rid of him. I can't stand him. Yeah, he's professional grifter. He is Kiki, and Teresa's no prize herself, but Louis is indeed beneath her. What does he do for a living? She's the one making the income. What does she need him for? America Born says, no, she moved into that house with Louis. Oh, okay, so that's not the one that her and Juicy Joe. Theirs probably would have been paid for by now. AB, I can't stand him either. Yeah, he's not popular, Sharon Gabo. I don't like him either. He's a bum. Yeah, she married a Dusty. Why would you marry a Dusty like that? Just crazy. Okay, this next topic, this is Real Housewives of Atlanta. So this is what we will end on. I'm going to share this screen so you can look at it. All right, there we are. That's Portia on Threads. Well, this is X. Wait, just catching up here in the Bahamas. Yo, I can't believe there are actually people talking about my mother and mentioning my daughter in a negative way. Was this really worth it? Shamia took this way too far. You're not innocent. While you've got people discussing my mom because of a lie you told on this show, if we're going to discuss it, keep it between us. Now let's discuss you sleeping with your manager who's married to one of your high school friends, as well as a pastor in Decatur who's 100% on your roster, along with many more. Pound, let's go. Pound, RHOA. Portia for real? Portia for real woke up in the Bahamas and chose violence. Y'all, that is crazy. That's crazy. Mama B's, and I talked about it a little bit. Mama B said, uh-oh, I feel like Shamia's not prepared for what is coming. And I have to agree. I think that she kicked the hornet's nest. And the hornet is named Portia. When somebody is willing to go low, you better be ready to go low with them. And I think Shamia has so much more to lose. Shamia is married. Gerald is a prominent businessman. He's only going to listen to so much of you're sleeping with this one, you're sleeping with that one. True or not, it's become an embarrassment. And this is terrible. So I'll read a few of the comments. Somebody says, this is giving lies. Like, come up with a different occupation with your lies at least. Yeah, what's all these pastors? Is every pastor in Atlanta cheating? And this one's in Decatur. Somebody said, thank you. Portia's a big liar. I don't believe if she says. Her goal is to make what she says to you sound worse than the truth about her. I see a little bit of that quality in her, but everybody ain't lying on you. How you know? You know her in real life and in real time? This is where some of the people go crazy. We don't even go there. We're speculating just like you are, Miss China Bee. And someone says, obviously, you think you know Portia. You sure going hard for her. So how do you know she's not lying? I want to know why Portia be trying to call people hoes when she stole that woman's husband. We're tired of hearing about Simon, who she is now divorced, and Fallon. And we know that Fallon and Simon, they were not separated. They say they were, but they were living in the same house when we saw Portia allegedly meet him on the screen. Now we know Fallon had the Pooh Boy's baby and was pregnant at that time. But this is not something for people to argue back and forth in the comments. That is crazy. So that's what Portia woke up and said this morning. Crazy. Okay, let me see. It's getting very nasty. Let me share this tab and see what this says. I hope I can open this. That's the same one. It's just a different, somebody put a different backdrop on it with their pictures. Okay, so Portia, you in the Bahamas, you need to be relaxing. I don't know if I would be answering that mess. But why are people attacking Mama Diane? So they're attacking Madam Diane about what Shamia said. Are they attacking Mama Morton about what Portia said? Or do more people think that's a lie? I don't know. I think the whole thing is crazy. So we'll see what's going to happen. This is definitely the show after the show. Let's see what Shamia has said. Shamia has responded. And let me pull up her response. And then I'm going to read more comments. Shamia breaks her silence after last night's tumultuous episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. That is from our friend No Chaser TV, who is Chase. And there is Shamia. Let's see what she says. Shamia looking good. Got that leg out. Again, she always does a little bit too much. So that looks like a kilt. But she got a big Chanel belt on, Chanel necklace, probably Chanel earrings. I like straight hair on her. Shamia Morton says, some journeys change your passport, Other change your perspective, Scotland. And then she put the flag and added Bravo TV and Peacock. Shamia, girl, I try with you, but let me read that again. Maybe it'll make more sense the second time. Some journeys change your passport. Others change your perspective. Scotland. I guess she's saying that this cast trip has been impactful and changed her worldview, her perspective. I don't know if the signs were there, Shamia. The signs were actually there before you and Portia got into it. And I really hate the fact that she even brought up, well, Dennis said that PJ is not allowed to come over because you and I are beefing. I don't like the fact that she brought that up and then just ratcheted it up with Madame Diane. And then that caused Portia to spew out about Mrs. Morton. So it's just a mess. So it's like, girl, go home. Nobody wants to see you, Otis. Shamia, you're going to have a tough reunion. I can already tell. Somebody said, anyways, a loser is a loser. That's what Shamia is next. I don't think she's a loser. I think she's not great on this show. And I hate that for her. Someone says, Shamia needs to shut up. She's an exhausting woman. I'll agree with that. She's not playing this right. She's so corny. I agree with that, but that shouldn't be the kiss of death, y'all. Come on now. I would love to be corny and rich too. Now, I agree with that. Girl, please go away from us with this. 2 seasons in an utter flop. Yeah, I thought she was going to come back in different mode. I really would have liked to see Shamia lean into her rich wife thing instead of trying to make everybody on the cast like her. Just live your life, be yourself. You may or may not be liked. But I don't know. I think she came across as kind of desperate. And the more she felt isolated, the more desperate she got. And now here's where we are. Somebody said, cute pic, but this isn't for you, Shamia. Focus on your kids and having a 3rd baby if that's what you really want. Housewives really isn't the place for married people who love being married. I have to agree with Miss K. Shell. That is 100% true. Let me read through the comments. And then I'll see if there are any more topics with those ladies. All right, let me go back to the first one I had not read. Deborah says, no, that's the house Louis bought before they married. Okay, thank you, Deborah Randall. And he's taking money out of it. Meanwhile, got Teresa paying on it. Then they got all these tax liens. I'd get rid of him. Deborah says she sold the other home Joe built. Yeah, I don't understand that. Like somebody said, live within your means. That huge estate, it's her, Louis, Melania. I don't know which other ones are still home, but that's crazy. Portia went to HE double hockey stick. AB with gasoline drawers on and put a whole gasoline dress on Shamia. Crazy. You got to be careful who you're arguing with. If you feel like someone has nothing to lose or they have less to lose than you, because Shamia has that marriage to lose, her home, her family. What if Gerald picked up and went to Ghana and took the kids back to Ghana and said, I'm tired of this, man? She doesn't know what can happen. But I wouldn't be saying stuff about Madame Diane or Portia because honestly, Portia wasn't really saying anything to her this season. Now, I did notice the icing out, and I don't like that. I feel like they could have been just co-workers. Which Shamia said, that's what Portia said to her. You come on with a full peach. We're co-workers. We're not going to be friends. It's going to impact our friendship. Even though Portia said she didn't say that, I happen to think she's lying. But yeah, she did go to HE double hockey sticks. I agree. Deborah said American born. She's not going to leave him because she doesn't want to hear I told you so from anyone. Yeah, Teresa is that type. I agree. You're right about that, Deborah Randall. Yeah, but now Teresa also doesn't like she's gone to jail for one husband. And Louis doesn't seem like he's that on the up and up. I don't think she's going to let that happen twice. Kiwan J said, Gerald's about to pull her off the show. Kiwan J, it wouldn't shock me because Shamia is a person. I saw an interview that she did that she was saying she didn't accept the peach. Somebody said, why didn't you take it while Portia was gone? She didn't accept it because Gerald didn't want to be on the show. And if he wasn't on the show, she wasn't going to be on the show. So he came on season 16, Sweet 16, gave it to her on a silver platter, and she just wasn't able to deliver. She didn't come across right. As far as with the alliances and stuff like that, she did it to herself, in my opinion. He needs to, AB said, yeah, I don't think she's going to do it herself. American Born is laughing. This is terrible. I hate to see this for her. And Deborah says he needs to pull her off this show. So Deborah is agreeing with Kiwan JTV. And Mama B says, I believe Gerald's going to make her give up that show. Mama B's, I wouldn't blame him if he did. And one of the Shilohs is old enough to hear about this stuff at school. And the school is right up the street from their house and everything. Now, some of these bloggers, they're not as crazy as they used to be. Like that time Funkin went to Sheree's house. Then he tried to blame it on Michelle Adlian Brown. She said that that was his idea. I was watching an interview that she did recently with Tasha K. And then he went and settled with Sheree when Sheree sued his tail and didn't tell Michelle Adlian Brown that he had pulled himself out of the court case by settling. Funky is a funky bunch. He really, really is. People love him though. I wouldn't trust him far as I could throw him. K1J TV says, in Shamia's defense, Portia won't film with her and Portia won't have a conversation with her. However, Shamia needs to understand your friend don't want you anymore. Yeah, K1J TV, that is true. And then that's why I'm not a fan of when they start doing that icing out business. I don't like it. And I think what pushed Shamia over the edge was her seeing Kelly be pulled in. And then they made sure she knew it. Like, Kelly, are you all right? I think that was Drew. Oh, yeah, since everybody came and talked to me. And it was Team Fun and then including Kelly. And they didn't, the people that were not in the room was, of course, Shamia, K. Michelle, who once she's in her room, she don't come down. And Angela, they don't really be inviting her like that anyway. And Pinky's able to stand on her own too. So I get it. Kiki said those IG comments are brutal yet funny. Yeah, you got to have the stomach for it. And I think that Shami is a little too sensitive. I don't know that she has tough enough skin for it. You could talk about somebody like Portia, like a dog. She got feelings. She's human, but she's going to fight back, still keep grinning, put that go naked on, flip that hair, and live her life, just like Giselle. And then there are others that are like, I must be liked. This is not the platform if you must be liked. I hate to say it, but we all know it's true. Cece says, Shamia messed up a great introduction as a peach holder by her neediness and pettiness. She did, Cece. She didn't need a crew. I don't know why she would meet with the likes of Britt Eady, who she didn't really know, and even Kelly. It's like, oh, the young, fun girls are going to come in and they're going to, what are you going to do, take over the show? No, I didn't understand why she did it. It was unforced error, I'll say that. And AB is saying something broke their friendship. Not sure what it was, but it's over, Kiwanja. Yeah, even Pinky was asking at that last dinner, I'm new to this. So can you tell me, what do you think it was? And they couldn't really say. There's a lot that's being unsaid. And then even with the stuff about the two mothers, which they didn't want to mention last year, but now it's brought up, I think there's even more and deeper stuff that I don't know if they're still protecting each other's secrets, but they don't want certain things to come out. Because, of course, they both know what each other has done. Portia's spilling a lot of tea down there in the Bahamas. But I don't get why you would say, okay, if Shamia, she threw that out about Madame Diane. Some people believe it, some don't. Some people believe about Mama Morton, some don't. Both things could be true. But why are you saying now she's sleeping with her manager and he went to school with a friend and, oh, yeah, there's a pastor in Decatur. Sometimes it's a little bit too much. And then Portia being a known liar, some people don't believe her anyway. And people that don't like Shamia, they're going to believe Portia anyway. Deborah says, wow, my perspective is the same. I don't care much for Shamia. Yeah, a lot of people don't like her. And Kiwan J says Shamia was so mad she kept this in her back pocket. She's a Mad Day person. Yeah, Kiwan J TV, those Mad Day people are dangerous. Did you hear that stuff she was saying to Kelly in the hallway? Cameras were still rolling. You want to talk? Let's talk. All this kind of stuff. I think that's what prompted a lot of what Portia said in that the X thing that we just read from the Bahamas. I think watching the show live and seeing that, yeah, she's still threatening to say stuff about me. She's already said stuff about my mama. And now people are online talking crazy about Madame Diane and Portia Jr. What are they saying negative about Portia Jr. though? That is below low. I don't know what you could say about Portia Jr. She doesn't bother anybody. K1J TV, AB Portia has been a trash friend. Yeah, I don't think she's been a good friend, but they were not kind to each other. I think Shamia, why did you come in showing Britt Eady text? That's a big part of it, that she showed Britt Eady private text between her and Portia. And then when Britt had her mad day, she knew she was going to lose her job and Kenya had lost her job. Britt had nothing else to lose. Cece says, if Shamia got that juice, she thinks she could withstand Portia's icing out. She should have built bridges with the other ladies to help herself. Cece, that's what I feel like she should have done, but She's one of those people that she wants what she wants and she's always been able to get it. And I think she thought, I'll just keep at Portia and eventually we'll be friends again. Even when she said something like, well, she's willing to forgive everybody else but me. Yeah, just give her time and stay out of her face. Some people they dig their heels in a little more when you keep flying up in their face. I think Shamia was too needy and desperate, and it's turned Portia all the way off. And now Portia doesn't trust her anymore. AB says she has candy in her ear, in my opinion. Yeah, just be satisfied with that group of friends. That's a prominent, fun group of friends. Candy and Rashida and all these other people. I love me some funky. You do, Kiwan J? I don't like the way he talk about Black women. What you think about him calling people cubicle workers and all this kind of stuff? He's just a mess. He's talented, but he gets on my nerves and I turn him off. And then him going over there pooping on Michelle's floor. That was terrible. Or the dog. He said it was the dog. I don't know who it was. Kiwan J says, Shamia created her beef with Drew. So what she get is what she get. She created that beef with Drew on the strength of Portia. She was trying to defend Portia, which is why what Cece said, Shamia should have been making bridges with the other ladies. Drew's done nothing to you. Portia don't really have a problem with Drew because, of course, now they've made up. And the whole thing about Dennis and working with him and not telling me and da-da-da, that was just for a storyline. So Shamia looked stupid meeting with Ralph, bringing him on the show to talk about Drew. That was just low down. So now everybody has forgiven everybody else with the exception of Shamia's an odd person out. Linda Gambo, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. This is an extra. One of our sister moderators have come in. This is Linda Gamble, everyone. Welcome her in. Thank you so much. Hello, Sandra P's Gen Extra. Hey, Linda. Everybody's speaking to Linda. Everybody's speaking to Linda. We're covering a few topics because the social media streets are really hot, Linda. Right now, we're talking about Portia had the nerve to send a tweet from the Bahamas addressing Shamia and telling some more of her business, as if enough wasn't spilled on the show. Cece says, will Shamia and her mama be dropping another weird prayer video? She tried to joke about it, Cece, but I thought she wanted us to take it seriously. I don't even know if Mama Sama Makusa can save them now. They're going to have to bring out they're going to have to bring out Mahalia Jackson now. The Michael Jackson ain't going to do it. Soon remember that song from Invitation of Life? That was the saddest funeral song ever. Trouble all the world. I don't know, Shamia, y'all better get something ready. Cece, my niece, Portia has already sent a warning shot to Shamia on Twitter, allegedly. She did. I just had it up. Let me show it to you so you can see it. The comments are eating her up. Let me see if it's still up here. Now, some of the people were calling Shamia a liar, and then some of the people think that Portia is a liar. Let me show Linda. Shamia's got one up there, too. Yeah, she's down in the Bahamas. That's Portia for real. Wait, just catching up here in the Bahamas. Yo, I can't believe there are actually people talking about my mother and mentioning my daughter in a negative way. Was this really worth it? Shamia took this way too far. You're not innocent. While you've got people discussing my mom because of a lie you told on this show, if we're going to discuss it, keep it between us. Now let's discuss you sleeping with your manager who's married to one of your high school friends, as well as a pastor in Decatur who's 100% on your roster, along with many more. Pound, let's go. Pound, RHOA. My goodness. Woke up and chose violence. That's Portia Williams. P. Willie. No, that's not Portia. That's actually Peach Juice. So Linda is not alleged. It's right there on screen. A mess. I can't even say Portia Mia because she started it. Kiwan, CC is addressing Kiwan. She says, I guess Portia matched Shamia's Mad Day and raised her one. AB says she took it to HE double hockey sticks. I said, yes, she did. In some gasoline drawers and a gasoline kilt and a gasoline, one of the little fur hats they had on. I don't think Shamia is prepared. I don't think she is as cold as Portia. I think Shamia is still kind of hurt by everything that's going on. But Shamia, you drew first blood, and you can't dictate how Portia's going to respond. And she should have known. She's seen Portia go at people before. AB says, Shamia came in wanting to knock Portia out of the show, plain and simple. AB, I don't think she did. I think she thought she was going to be Queen Bee, and that it was Portia's turn to fall back and kind of be sidekick. Because when Portia came back, she couldn't even film in the house. She didn't really have money like that. It was her first season back. And then she had, of course, given up all them jobs to be with Simon, the scammer, allegedly, and in my opinion. Kiwan says, I'm a cubicle worker, so I'm not offended. I've been one, but I don't like him saying it as a dig. Like, oh, you're a cubicle worker. Well, fuck it, you'd be one too if you weren't a content creator. You throwing tomatoes at Funky. And then Cece says, aunties, Linda Jim, I got rid of X when it changed from Twitter. How bad is it? Cece, I haven't been over there since the South African bought it. I actually went ahead and deactivated mine as well. Have a Kiki is laughing. Mahalia Jackson, LMAO. Yeah, I usually use my praise dance with Michael Jackson. Is Mama say, Mama say, Mama say. That is what Mama Morton and Shamia were doing last year when she had to apologize. But I said that Jackson's not going to be enough. So we're going to have to dig Mahalia up and let her do. I'm not going to call it a funeral song, but they did sing it at Mama's funeral. And Linda says, CC, it's real bad. Portia has unfollowed Shamia on all platforms as well. That's to be expected, Linda Gamble. That is terrible. AB says, thanks for the tea, Linda Gamble. You're welcome, sis. Yeah, I knew the social media streets were going to be hot, Linda. I know it. And Keywan says, my problem with Shamia is she's mad at these women, Drew and Angela, so she can claim her rightful position as the lapdog and mean girl again. Keywan JTV, that's what I don't understand. So now that you're mad, you're throwing up all the, and she's calling Portia, you're a narcissist and all this kind of stuff. Portia is who she is, and she hasn't changed at all. So now you're bothered by this, but when she's your narcissist, you don't mind. I don't like when people do that. Keywan says, Miss Cece, that's for sure. And Deborah speaking to Linda, and Linda speaking back. Ophelia speaking to everyone again. And Linda says, it's alleged Shamia and Kelly will not be returning after the reunion, allegedly. I'm curious to see what the next season cast looks like. Depending on Shamia's performance at the reunion, I think it's up to her whether she comes back or not. I think Bravo would love to see where she and Portia go from here, even if they're feuding and they're enemies. AB is laughing. And CC says, spare me, Shamia's hurt. Shamia's first run as a friend of was turning on Portia to hang with Candy and her clique. I haven't seen it for Shamia since back then. CC, I do remember Shamia when she first started being friends with Candy, Don Juan. They were talking about Portia and she didn't correct them. But I also remember a scene where Phaedra was being very graphic and rude about Shamia. Oh, yeah, they effing. Her and Candy, they ain't taught. They effing. And making motions and everything. And Portia sat there and looked. She didn't say a word. I don't remember which order, which came first. But again, I don't think either one of them were good friends to each other. That's why I don't know why Shamia's still holding on to the friendship. I could be a co-worker with Portia all day. I'd never trust her. And Portia, in turn, she doesn't trust Shamia either. AB said, don't cry now, Shamia. You open Pandora's box. Yeah, AB, she did. It didn't have to go there. And Keywan J says, I think this is a good cast. Yeah, I'd like to see the whole ensemble return. I agree, Keywan J. And there were people I didn't want back, but I think I like to see everybody back. But if Shamia doesn't want to come back, I wouldn't blame her. And if Gerald doesn't want her back, I wouldn't blame him. She did it to herself. Yeah, AB's telling Sharon she did it to herself. Have a Kiki saying, I hate to say it, but what was Portia's storyline be if Shamia doesn't come back? I don't want to see her and Gerald Dennis go over their relationship again. I'm sick of Dennis and now Dennis started that fight too. Why is Dennis bringing information to Shamia and Gerald about, well, Portia don't want PJ over there. You're invited. Don't worry about who else is invited or who's allowed to come. And then Shamia, again, y'all know I try to be fair and objective, even though I want to be protective of Shamia. Shamia was wrong for not inviting the entire cast, including Portia, to Gerald's birthday party. And then we wouldn't have had any of that issue. And the babies were at the birthday party. The Shilohs were there. They were in their African garb. They were there. So I think she should have said, everybody come, even bring PJ, and we'll put the girls down. Now, if Portia was there and allowed to go, she could have brought PJ with her, and she wouldn't have left her there. But Shamia had a chance to change the trajectory of the season. And she just, when she gets mad, she's kind of like blind. Like Portia. I think Portia's going to regret some of the stuff that she said. Because why are you up tweeting that? That's terrible. You're on vacation, vacate. Kiwan says, he said, yes, she sure did. I feel like Candy saw an opportunity to befriend Shamia after season 9. Yes, she did. She certainly did. And everybody is still speaking. I do think Drew can go. Kiwan JTV, Drew has a story. She's just not really sharing it. She says she's working on her music. The divorce is final. Ralph loves being on TV. I don't know if we could watch them co-parent. I don't know. They asked if Eva wants to come back. I don't know. I don't know what Eva's got going on. I'm not going to comment on Eva, but I don't know what she's got going on. Her show is ending, but she is still doing a lot of her Lifetime stuff. We'll see. American Born answers have a Kiki. We're going to get freaking Frack back playing, I hope. And honestly, Phaedra's not giving a lot either. She's not. She's just like a little piece of everybody's story. And then when she can, she'll throw the boys in, who we love to see. Now, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, someone asked the question, how is it going with Apollo's oldest son? She said, we love Trey. She said they had a scene where she introduced them to the 2 youngest sons, and they are fast friends, and they're glad to have a big brother. I did love to hear that. So I loved it. Because somebody said, we noticed that he was there at the event, that field day event they had. And then she went along to say, oh, yeah, that's working out great. So I loved it. Dennis want to be a housewife so bad, LOL. Have a Kiki. I'm sick of Dennis carrying bones. And then every time he comes over, he upsets Portia. If I was Portia, I wouldn't film with him anymore. That's not his show. Not Drew. American Born, I can't believe it either. That is Kiwan J's girl. But she's released her. You letting her go? AB, yeah, I think she needs to go. If she shares her story, Drew could stay. But Drew, I don't know. She's not sharing anything. Kiwan, did you fall, hit your head? Let me know. Yeah, we got to check on Kiwan J because Drew's her girl. She's always protecting Drew. And Linda says Shamia should have kept Miss Diane and Portia baby PJ out of their drama. Yeah, Linda Gamble, it didn't have to go there. That was really not the time or place. AB says exactly to Linda Gamble. Shamia can't read a room. I'll tell anybody that. I freely admit to that. Kiwan says Drew has given more than the ladies. She's not really, I don't know. She don't really have a storyline. She doesn't really have a storyline, but we'll see if they're going to allow her to do anything. Okay, now let's see. Angela has something to say, and this is from No Chaser TV. I think everybody in the cast has weighed in on this. All right, let's see what Angela has to say. Angela has broken her silence and responded to some viewers regarding Portia Williams and Shamia Morton Wangi's issues, as well as her own issues with Shamia. All right. Y'all look like y'all bullying that girl, just piling on. That's one of the viewers. Angela says, I hate that you ignore the rocks she's thrown. They've become invisible rocks, and it looks like we're responding to nothing. No, Angela, Shamia does throw rocks. When she came in to meet Angela, and I'll go back a few episodes, oh, there's a late Sasquatch in here with big feet. Yeah, that's a rock. But then when you start talking about the Braves, not the Braves, but you're talking about the Falcons and the Hawks and all this, that's a little more than she did. So we see her rocks, but you throwing a boulder. So here's another viewer. You couldn't wait for Portia and Shamia to argue. That's all you and Drew been waiting for. Hater. Even if they're not friends, P will never be your bestie. That's a Portia-ite. The Portia-ites talk crazy, y'all. They do. Some of them. Angela says, contrary to this, I wanted them to speak as friends. They made up. Then Shamia told Britt more info. Angela, you going back to last year? We're talking about now. Angela went back to last year. Britt is not here. Socially distancing says, right. People seem to forget Britt revealed to Portia and Phaedra how Shamia showed her private text. Portia sent about her therapy sessions of all things. And Angela gave 3 exclamation points. And somebody said, y'all act like it, but y'all really do not want them to be friends. Y'all love seeing them go at each other's throat. Y'all not fooling me. To Niall. She getting upset. Angela says, honestly, we don't. It's toxic. It's not fun and can become boring. I appreciate moving on. I don't know. I think Angela kind of likes the fight. Somebody says, sister, that's your problem. You're too invested. This person has left about 4 different directs at Angela, and they're telling her she's too invested. Sister, that's your problem. You're too invested. That's what Shamia's been saying all season. I'm glad you finally admitted that you don't want them to be friends because it's too toxic and boring. Mind you, that has nothing to do with you. LMAO. So she's pretending to laugh, but you seem kind of upset. Y'all, that's not a Portiaite, that's a Shamiaite. That's kind of crazy too. Angel says, girl, we don't want them to fight. It's toxic. And somebody says, mind your business now. You and Drew are really coming off this season as the lap dogs for Portia. Y'all accuse Shamia of being, and I hate it because I really liked you last season. Angela Oakley says, what does anything against Shamia have to be for Portia? Or why does anything against Shamia have to be for Portia? Angela, because housewives have become a team this one, team that one, team this one, team that one. All right, this is going on too long. I can't believe Angela's arguing in these comments. It's going to be the last one I'll read. Somebody said, ma'am, she literally says she'd F your husband, and she called you Big Bird. Now you're yucking it up with that bird, and y'all appear to be doing her dirty work. Angela says, what did your fave say exactly? You think you know? You have no idea. Wait until the reunion. Oh, y'all, Shamia talking crazy. And somebody says, my fave ain't there, but I'm always objective regardless. I don't know, Team Twirl. I don't know if she's objective. Angela says, y'all running with the narrative. All she did was laugh. I literally ran downstairs in real time to confront people talking. I don't know. So she's saying Shamia did more than laugh. We'll see. I'll take that down. Angela, you don't have anything else to do? Go clean that spider house so you can sell. Get that out your portfolio. She's in the comments arguing with the people. Y'all, that is crazy. Even Shamia and Portia ain't doing that. They said what they said and leave it. All right, we will read a few more comments here. Then I'll see if I can find Angel and Bobby's post, and then that will be the end. Linda says, Portia says she's receiving a lot of DMs from castmates. I can imagine everybody's taking sides. But honestly, Linda, it looked like everyone took her side at the table except for Kelly. And Kelly is in a precarious living position. So we don't know what her motive was for taking Shamia's side. Kiwan J says, AB, no friend. I feel like Drew gave more than the ladies over the years. Production isn't showing her story, more acting and singing. Yeah, because we know she's a working actress, Kiwan JTV, but we don't see her go to set and do this and do that. And then we don't see her anymore with family life. So I don't know. Maybe they've given up. Maybe Drew's one of the ones not coming back. I don't know. American Born says, oh, okay, I see your point. I see what you're saying. And Linda says, Shamia, Kelly, and Drew can go. So Shamia, I would understand if Shamia goes. Kelly, I don't know. I go back and forth. Kelly really needs a job. That doesn't factor in, but she does have a story. I mean, she has a story. And then Drew. We just talked about Drew and what they're not showing on her. Keywan says, let's be clear. I don't think Drew has a real friend on here. Not even Angela. I agree with that. And I don't like to see people isolated like that. And yeah, Drew is doing the teams thing, but she doesn't really have a friend. You're right. Well, she's back good with Portia now. American Born, Portia don't really like her either. Portia sees all these ladies as co-workers, in my opinion. Keywan says, AB, that's not real. That's just what I said. I know everyone thinks she's a lapdog, but like Ralph, I'm sure Drew don't trust her, but making her coin. Yeah, and Drew's able to treat this as an acting job. We know that. AB said, I'd like to see Drew moving into her place next season, new place next season. I would too if they would show it, AB. Because she does, I mean, after a divorce, she's starting a whole new life if they would let us look at it. Linda says, Andy Cohen says Shamia turned the show dark. I think Andy is unfair. He's not objective. And we all know he loves Portia, which is great if the boss loves you. But I don't know who's any darker than some of the things Portia has done. I'll just say that. Andy shouldn't put his thumb on the scale. But I can believe he said it. AB says, whoa, I missed that. She's in trouble then. Yeah, she is in trouble then. And then the third cheer. You got a cheer behind Kelly. You gave Kelly a free place. You got a cheer behind her. They don't like Shamia. Keywan says Drew's playing the long game like Wendy on RHOP. Wendy's just trying to get together, keep her funds together in case she got to pay some of this restitution. Keywan JTV says Andy's biased across the board. He is Keywan JTV. I'm sick of him and his thumb on the scale. I want him to get his cross out of him. I'm tired of Andy. All right, let me see if I can find. I can't believe I didn't save. Let me see if I can find that. I wanted to end with that because there is life after Real Housewives. I don't know why Shamia is acting like she got to have it. Girl, there is so much more that you can do and be. Let me see if All right, here we go. All right, we're going to end with this, everybody. This is, again, Real Housewives of Potomac, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'm sorry, I can't find my screen where I can share it. But Angel and Bobby have had their 7th anniversary, so congratulations to them. And then that was a scenario where her experience was so terrible, I didn't want to see her, cloak or not, Sandra P's cloak of immunity or not. I didn't want to see her continue to go through what she was going through on the show. It was miserable for her. She cared too much what everybody thought. And this is recent. When have you seen Angel smiling? Angel had a miserable time. And Bobby didn't like any of the ladies, and I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him. I wouldn't have liked those ladies either. And Giselle felt like he's being rude. Her and Bobblehead were getting ready to lie on the man. Bobblehead was talking about he was aggressive with the staff. Nobody saw Bobby do anything like that. Like, well, he didn't put an umbrella over their head. They're not his wife. They're not his wife. He put an umbrella over his wife's head, and that's all he had to do. So there's Bobby and Angel Massey. I'm happy for them. She says, anniversary tripping with my baby. Happy year 7, my love. There's Tia. Happy anniversary, beautiful. People wishing you many, many years of utter bliss. And then there's people congratulating them. I love that for her. So I'm happy for Angel. Let me see if this is her show. This is Homeworthy. Bobby's still grilling. Chef Bobby. Oh, that was him under her. He's Big Bruh 70. Beautiful Colorado Ranch, Angel. Oh, look at the baby. They're getting big. And they share family stories, beloved summer traditions, and her recipe for Maryland crab cakes while Chef Bobby fires up barbecue. Beautiful. They said her spot was beautiful, and Bobblehead and Giselle even said that. They were angry about it too, y'all. They seemed jealous that she was living that life. And I'm
going to talk about how we celebrate here in the summertime, whether that's July 4th or Juneteenth. And then we're going to go into the kitchen with Chef Bobby Massey. You know, he just graduated culinary school, and we're going to talk about the menu today. We're going to have some steaks.
We got some beautiful ribeye steaks from AK Ranch that we just picked up.
We're going to have some Maryland crab cake because, you know, summertime means crabs when you're from Maryland. We're just going to have a really good time. So come along with me. I'm ready to talk about the art of celebration.
Y'all, I'm so happy for Angel. She looks so happy. I am happy for Angel and Bobby. And Bobby, congratulations to Bobby. He graduated culinary school. That is wonderful. All right, so let's end with them. Y'all, I think that's beautiful. I am so happy for them. So eat that, Giselle. There they are out there on their beautiful ranch. I love it. I love it. All right, I'll finish up the comments, everybody. And then that will be it. And then I'll come back for Married at First Sight. If you're not watching that, we're still episode 1. So new city, Seattle, new experts. Y'all then I got rid of Pastor Cal. But we got another brother on, Paul Brunson. And I can't think of the sex therapist's name. Some lady. She seemed like she's real too. I liked her. And then one couple I'm really rooting for. 2 guys I'm side-eyeing. But I'll be back at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll talk about it then. Okay. Andy's bias across the board. I agree. AB said 100%. Cece says, Phaedra says she's co-parenting well with Apollo since he got divorced. That could be one storyline for Faye. Yeah, Cece, they always got along fine until Shireen. And because Shireen was another woman. Shireen was on that list visiting Apollo in prison. And that man was still married. So that's why Phaedra had a problem with Shireen. I don't blame her. Then the Gamble says, American born, yes. Andy Cohen's upset that Shamia's husband is not showing up for Shamia. Yeah, Gerald is not going to allow the likes of Andy to tell him what he needs to do. I wish Gerald were there for Shamia as well. But he was making a great point yesterday. Like, Gerald laid out the show for her. She kind of fumbled, and now he doesn't want her to do it. So it's her fault that he's not showing up. So AB is saying yes, and we know Andy loves the men from RHOA. Yeah, he's not going to get the flirt and be all in Gerald's face. AB says, I forgot about that. Her and him being on CK, that's another nail in her coffin. Yeah, I agree. And Linda agrees, says American born. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, at Linda. And then you're welcome. And Cece says, Giselle and Ashley are a danger to other women's men. They love accusing them of things. Cece, I couldn't have my husband around there. I'm glad Bobby got up out of there, and Angel did too. And I could kind of tell the writing on the wall, just the way they treated her at the reunion, even though she had her ducks in a row and she was ready to speak. I could tell. It's American Born and Sharon are laughing. Yeah, just a mess. But everybody, this is a good place to end. So we are right under an hour and a half. And again, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We will be here. Those of you that can make it, Married at First Sight. I posted it over on Threads. So hopefully we'll get some new people that are watching that show and just want people to discuss it with. But I appreciate everybody welcoming people in, welcoming new people in, and the way that everybody is a community here. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. And Cece says, be blessed, everyone. Thank you, Cece. AB says, this is great. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, AB. I appreciate your encouragement and ideas for the extras as well. Everybody, bye, and I will see you in the YouTube streets.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.